Francois Hollande wants revenge. David Cameron wants to drop more bombs and George Osborne wants to shut down their computers. Jeremy Corbyn doesn't want us to kill them, John Prescott wants other countries to do the bombing for us, and there's a hairdresser in Oxford who wants all Muslims to go untrimmed. Most of us just want no one else to die. The problem with the world's reaction to the Paris terror attacks is that almost none of those sounding off for news outlets all over the world have stopped to wonder what ISIS wants. Although they attract psychopaths and the socially maladjusted like moths to a flame, ISIS is not a group of spree killers doing it for the crack. There is a plan. It's barking mad, but they take it very seriously and we ought to think about it. What ISIS wants is apocalypse. The caliphate declared last year on the borders of Syria and Iraq is temporary, a place where ISIS says all good Muslims can live according to the legal, social and economic rules of 7th century Islamic texts. Most Muslims in the world live, as do most Christians and Jews, according to a reformed 21st century version of their faith. They all ignore the early bits written by bloodstained hands and bloodstained times. ISIS followers believe in these bits the most. They're a bit like those weird sects you hear about in Butthole, Indiana, who think the day of judgment from the book of Revelation is happening next week. And ISIS have every intention of hurrying it up. ISIS followers believe in these bits the most. They're a bit like those weird sects you hear about in Butthole, Indiana, who think the day of judgment from the book of Revelation is happening next week. And ISIS have every intention of hurrying it up. This caliphate, the followers of ISIS believe, is needed because every nation in the world wants to oppress Muslims. It is a safe place from which they can fight for their way of life. So the more any nation turns against its Muslim citizens, the more it encircles, cracks down, bans or blames them, the more reason for a caliphate, and the more people it recruits. They believe that caliphate must fight and expand continually. ISIS needs us to fight, or it has no reason to exist. At the same time it would like us not to fight. According to the ISIS rules it is holy to commit acts of terror, because it frightens people into not fighting them and therefore saves bloodshed. Killing 129 people in Paris, to their mind, saves millions of lives. So while ISIS wants us to fight, it also wants us to submit. I said they were mad, didn't I? All this will lead, says ISIS, to an apocalyptic battle at a place called Abik in Syria. This is where they say the army of Rome, that's us, will be defeated. After some more fighting it will end in Jerusalem where Jesus will descend from heaven and take us all to eternity. Yes, Jesus. He is not only the second most revered prophet in Islam faith but also, apparently, on the side of ISIS. The prophecies say he will confront some Iranian bloke who's the anti-Messiah, kill him with a spear and then everyone in ISIS gets raptured and goes to heaven. The problem with this myth is that no one survives. There's nothing to use to persuade them to put down the guns. Hamas want Palestine. The Muslim Brotherhood want a political process. The IRA wanted the British out. Half the terrorists in the world want a patch of land to call their own. ISIS just want to die. And we don't.